Recording in progress.
Hello, my name is Wahid Lutfi. Welcome to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/mywebuniversity. This URL is basically going to take you to my YouTube channel. And today's session, I want to just discuss Python tuple data structure or tuple data structure. You can call it tuple or tuple is a data structure. It is an immutable sequence, which means it's read-only. You cannot modify the element, the index of an element. You cannot modify it. You cannot assign a value to an element of the actual tuple. So you can always redefine the tuple to have different values, but you cannot assign individual elements inside a tuple. In contrast to a list is not immutable. You can change any element of a list, but not for the tuple. So tuple or tuple, I'm going to discuss that one. And on first line here, I'm printing this a standard list of just modules in double underscore or magic method, we call it, or dunder method or double underscore method. And those methods are defined here. In addition, there's two method count and index that are there. So if I just move all the way here, you can see the count and index on the right side here. But let's just move back here and then just remove this line 1. Since I just want to define it like this, it's much easier to concentrate rather than moving the cursor to the right. And then sometimes when I just make this video, a short video, it's much easier for one type of a screen to be shown here. So for those of us that are developers that wants to make short videos, this is a trick that I use that might help you as well. Just please make sure that if you're copying the screen session, you can do so. So here, this is a for statement that I'm doing for the same dir tuple, but then I could just change the element to say, instead of showing 7 of them per column, I could do 5 of them, and you can see that it is there. And if you want it a little bit bigger, you can change it to 10. Then it is a number of columns, or just number of rows are going to be shrinked in number of columns is going to be 10. So 7 was good enough. I'm going to keep it at 7. And in fact, I just said that I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to keep this information because I have to teach you or mentor you or explain how the tuple data structure is immutable and what does that mean. So I'm deleting all these lines here, and if I just run it here, you can see that I have no instruction at this time. So the first thing I want to do is create an empty tuple. So if I just create an empty tuple, I could say T1 is equal, and then I could just define this to be an empty tuple. And then this one is going to just say, well, you need to have at least one element here. So I'm going to say this, and now this is going to give me an element that has at least one element, so which is 1. And then if I want to do like this, and this is just also allowed here, which is an empty element, print the type of T1. T1 is at this time is going to say this is a tuple or tuple. You can see class tuple. And then if I just want to have an element, like earlier, I wanted to do this one, 1, 5. This one is just basically there. If I wanted to just create a tuple T2 is equal an empty element, and then say print type of T2, and then at the same time print dir of T2. This is the same thing as the dir of the T1. So this list is going to generate the same thing. So whether I do dir of this T1 or the dir T2, both of them are going to generate the same list of double underscore magic methods that are available with index and count. But what I want to show you is that when you're defining a tuple, at this time, you could see if I just run this one, this is going to say both of them are a tuple, T1 and T2. Even though one of them is empty, so if I just say print T1, which is going to print 1, and then print T2, the T2 is basically going to be empty tuple like this, and T1 is one element. So you can assign at least one element. So when we are saying that the tuples are immutable sequence, meaning that I cannot just say, for example, the content of T1 sub 0, I cannot assign it to 5, for example. This is index of this element, but because tuple is immutable, when I run this one, it says that this is not allowed. You can see the squiggly lines comes in as an error, and it says type error because this object does not support item assignment. Item assignment meaning that you cannot just assign a different element to that element that we already defined. Although we can do something like this, say T1 is, we could just recreate T1 to have different elements. So say 5, 10, 15, and then just say print T1, and then print type of T1. So notice that this time it's going to allow it to redefine that tuple. This variable that we are using, we're saying it is a tuple. We call it the same name here. Earlier it was saying this was a tuple. And now it is going to say that this is also a tuple, but it was redefined here. We did not change an element of it. We just defined something else. So right here, if I just create a T2 is equal, and I'm going to just say add on to say Wahid Lutfi, and then let's say I do those two elements, and then I'm going to say T3 is equal, let's just call it our channel. So we could call it, I'm going to just define, I'm going to create a list here just for fun of it. So we can assign a list into an array, a tuple. So let's just define a list here of elements of my web university, and then we just also add on to say videos, educational videos, educational, and then we do one more and say videos. So this is a list. If I just type in a type of L1, notice that L1 is going to say it's a list. At some point, when I say I need to do a print on it, and that one, and L1. And just for the sake of clarity, I'm going to remove these other print statement, so you're not confused with too many of these other ones that we already checked. So I'm going to just do this, and then the code will be shorter so you can understand it better. And then at this time, we're concentrating on two things. So one is print type of L1, and then we just say, so print L1 first. After that one, once we say the type of it, if I run this one, you can see that it is a list, and then the list contains these elements. So I can print the list itself as L1 of all these columns. This would be the same thing as printing the list the second time. I could start with something with 0, and then only print the first two elements. I could do that too. This is element 1, and this is index sub 0, index sub 1. So index sub 2 is not included in this case. And then I could just also include like length of T1, L1. Length of L1 would be printing everything there. So you can see that this is there. But if I just don't want this one, I could do minus 1. So I would get that first one and second one. The last one will not be included. Whatever I can do here with the list, I can also do the same kind of information for that T1. So T1 is, notice, is 5, 10, 15. So I can print that one and it says 5 and 10 is done. So now if I just say length of T1, that is the function length is going to be a standard part of the standard library of Python. So when you put the object T1, in this case, it's going to say, oh, you meant the length of this element. So I could have just also done, like, for example, instead of doing start from 5, I could only print 10 and 15 like this, by just saying that 1 and this. So whatever syntax that you could do with list, you could do it with tuple, except that list are mutable, meaning you can change the content of an element, but you can reassign them. For example, I could say, for example, my list is L1 is equal, my web university is the first one. I could just say L1 sub 0, and then I could just say, I could just change it to welcome. Welcome to my web university. And that assignment is going to just do that there. And then if I just print this list afterwards, say print L1 here now, notice that after I did the assignment, the L1 now say welcome to my web university. So on the tuple, we could not modify it. I already showed you that example, but list allows you to modify it. So let's just concentrate on the tuple today. We're going to discuss the list data structure on another session, but let's just concentrate on the tuple first. So I'm going to just remove these lines, since I already defined those ones and I showed you some example. At this time, I want to just create another tuple called tuple3 is equal. I'm going to just say, okay, so this tuple contains T1 already, that is there, T2, and list 1. So you could also just have nested tuples inside a tuple. So in this T3 contains T1, T2, and also a list. And also I could put some other additional variables like false for data type, or floating point 5.5. So now I define a number of things. So print T3, let's see what it is there, and then print type of T3. So this one will just assign it as well as print it. Now notice that T3 in this case is a list of list. So I'm sorry, a list of a tuple of one list here, 5, 10, 15, another tuple, Wahid Lutfi, another list, which is my web university educational videos, and then a variable false, and like a Boolean variable, and floating point numbers. So now if I want to print, for example, the first index of T3. So if I say print T3 sub 0, I should get 5, 10, and 15 as a tuple. And let's see if I do that. Yeah, I get that one as a tuple. And then now if I just want to print, and this time I'm going to print, what was the next one is Wahid and Lutfi. So this one would be like another tuple, which would be index of 1. So Wahid Lutfi is there. And if I say, show me the type of that one, notice this one is going to tell me it's a tuple. You can see that. And if I just have this line as well, just below this, so I could print it like that, and then let's just take one other one out. So now you can see T3 sub 1 is Wahid Lutfi, and then as a tuple, and then that shows the class type and that's. So the next one is a list. So if I just print similarly, say print T3 sub 2, this should print me my Web University educational videos as a list. And then if I just also say print me the type of it, of T3, type of T3 sub 2, that's the index, and then that's good enough. Let's just run it, and we look at the last lines. This one is the actual list, and then the which is line 11 printed, and line 12 printed this last one, which it says as a class. So you could get that one. And then as you can see, print T3, this one printed the whole list. So I could have also done this one and then just have an empty list of this. This would be equivalent to printing the entire things. As you can see, this is doing that one. And let's just remove these lines here out. And now we're going to just get the data type of these two. So T3, this is first element, second element, third element, fourth element, fifth element. So I'm going to say, for example, print T3 of the fifth element. Actually, and this one is fourth, because we start from 0. Let's see if fourth is going to print 5.5, because T sub 0, T sub 1, T sub 2, T sub 3, T sub 4. This one is giving me 5.5. I can also get that one by saying that let's get the length of T sub 3. You can get similarly by doing that one, and that one did not give me, because this length is a function. So you have to use it as a function. I use it as an index, which is inaccurate. And let's see if now we should get it. Tuple index out of range. So right here, T sub 3 of length is just doing that, and then let's see, yeah. Let me just do this, and then if we say 4, and that is going to return correctly, and then now assignment of 4, let's say we say x is equal length of T3. Length of T3 is going to be there, and then we just assign x here. If we get that one, it might work. No, it did not, because somehow print, x is out of range, because this is just the length is going to be one number bigger, I believe. Let's do this one, see what it is, and then we do this one -1, x -1. Yeah, that was the problem. Since the length of it is 5 of them, and there's 5 elements on it, then when we do the x, we just have to subtract one of them. So whether you do it that way, or you just say length of that T3 -1, you could do that one also inside here. That will still give you the 5.5. So depending on how you do it, Python is very flexible, very simple, very easy to implement these things. But let's just look at the other things we can do with the 5.5. So we want to just see that, okay, so it is 5.5, but we want to get the type of that one. It should say that this is a floating point number. And we are going to get that one, and it says class is float, which is accurate. So this information, we don't need it. We are going to delete it. And then now, instead of this one, I want to get the number -2. So whatever the length -2 will give us false, and that should say a Boolean value, class Boolean. And if we print it, it should print false. Let's just print it here, and instead of getting the type of it, it should give us the data type of false, because it's a Boolean type. So it's a Boolean and it's false. If we change this false to true, notice that the uppercase true is a statement that you're going to change it. So now we are going to get it's a Boolean and it's true. Now we're going to just look at the occurrence of number 5. What index is it? So we could just also do like print, let's say this time I'm going to let's delete these lines here, and then delete this line here. I'm going to just say let's get 5.5. We're going to just look at the number 10. If number 10 is in the index of this one. So the number 10, we have to look at it like this, say print, and then we say t1 dot underscore contains underscore underscore, and then we say we put the number 10. The number 10, let's see if that one says true or false. And it says true, because T1 has the 10. But if I say 100, it doesn't contain 100, it's going to say false. And then now, if you want to get it on inside of T3, then you have to get to the element sub-0 of that one, and then go this. And then something like this, T3 dot T1 sub-0, T1 contains, let's see, T3 dot T3 sub-0, which is T3 sub-0 T is T1 contains this one. You could try that one and see that one should say, and this one does not understand this element because I missed that dot here. That object has a method that you can pass it, and it says false. So this is going to T3 first, then find out the index of T1, then manipulate that one. So you can see how flexible Python is. If I look for 15, it's going to say true. Similarly, if I look for 5, I'm going to get true. So now, instead of printing this statement, let's just make an assignment, a statement to a variable. So I could say, for example, I could say 10 is equal, and then I could say this sub-0, and then contains 5. And instead of contains, I'm going to just say sub-0 of add, and I'm going to try 0, first one, the T sub-0 of 0 to add 5 to it, and then we're going to just say print 10. Let's see if 10 actually comes as 10. Yeah, it does. So notice that this element is 5. So I went to T3, but sub-zero, but then double array of indices. So I use two-dimensional array, saying that once you get to that one, then get to the second element, and then manipulate the 5 there, use this method. So instead of this method, if I just change this one to multiply, and then change this one to multiply, 25, 25, let's say, then I should say 25. For clarity, for shortness, I can just write it like that, or I could just say TF, but let's just say 25, like that. 25. Why is it just giving me tilde? 20. Oh, right here, there's another extra E. So now it should work, and then you see that it is multiplying it. And then if I just compare this one to something, now the data type of this 25 obviously is an integer. So then I say 25. Let's make this one TF for 25, and just so I can easily type it faster without any. That's when we need declare variable. You try to make sense of it, but at the same time, it's easier to type in. At the same time, easier to not make mistakes on them. So you can see that it is a class integer, and the value is 25. So let's just look at another thing that is here. We're going to just get rid of this statement. Let's do something like, for example, we want to just see the index of the first element. So we could say T2 sub-0. We already, if we print this one, it should say print Wahid, right? Because T2 is the first element is Wahid, and 0 is going to print Wahid, and then 1 is going to print Lutfi. So you could get this one, but if you want to do both 0 colon Wahid and Lutfi, both of them, then you're going to go like this, and it's going to print a list here. So you can also go on the a for statement and say for item in T2, let's say print item. So if I just print this one item, let's see, this one is going to just go in each one of elements and print it as an individual element. And then you can do enumeration, you can do other indexes and everything. But let's just concentrate on the part of index first. We have to do some other ones also. So if I just have more elements here on the T1, I'm going to have some duplicate elements. So duplicate elements, and then I'm going to have a couple of 5 here. So I'm going to just remove these other lines here at this time, and then just look at T1 here. And then I don't need T2 anymore. And then even this one, we don't need it, to keep it very short. And so that way you could see exactly what I'm doing here. And then, so at this time, if I say print T1, those are the elements of it. And then if I say T1 dot index, so at index of, if I want to get the index of 0, print T1 at index 0, and then print T1 dot index of the last one, which is a length of T1. Again, the length of T1 might be not enough, so I have to do the length of T1 minus 1. So let's see, length of T1 minus 1. We're going to do that one, and then I'm going to put another print statement here. because once you're inside Jupyter Notebook, it does differently. So this one is going to give me an error on one of them, T1 sub index, and then index of 0. And then the next one, let's see, length of index. Next, I'm going to T1, T1 dot index. You have to say if the value is found or not. You're looking for not index of giving me the index. So you say whether the 5 is return the 5 index. That is going to do this. Here, I believe I just have to do this line here because Python is interpreter. I have to get to that line before it just error out. So this one, to print T1 index of, let me just see one quick thing here. So the problem is that right here, I by mistaken, I had to put it as a character, and then you need to just make sure that you're giving an index number with the number that you're looking at. So if I'm looking for number 10, then it's going to return index of that one is going to be 1. And then similarly for an index of 15 would be 2, because the first one, if I want to get the second one, then it's going to be index of that one 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 would be the second element of that one, sub-0 this. And so now index of number 5, for example, if I just look for the 5, obviously it's going to be 0 first. Then if I just say, show me the second one that is there, comma 2, this is the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's going to return 4 here. So if I just add another 5 here, so this is 4, 5, 6. So now I just say, show me the third one. It should say, the value should say 6. Actually, 5, 3. Okay. So it looks like the index number is not the actual index that you want to look for. So this is just going to return you the number of occurrence on the third one that was there, 5, 15, and then that's 4. So let's see. Yeah, if you just don't give any number here is there, so you can say print help on t1.index to see if that index function is going to return a second value for it or not. And let's see, t1.index. Did I just mistype it? t1.index. Yeah, so somehow it is not doing it. I have to do print dir of help on tuple, and then this one will just print the entire tuple, and then you can look at the index for it to see what is the index for a function that is returning index of it. Does it have an option of multiple? Yeah, index self and then value, start, stop. So the start and the stop, if you just say how many numbers you start, and then what is the stop it there, and then the value is there. So start is 0, and then stop is whatever value it is there. You can just type in the value yourself. So let me just go back on the top. This thing is acting weird on the browser. I just look like, come on. Okay, now it's going up. So print, if I say t1 dot index of, let's say 5, and then a start is equal, let's say we say as 0, and a stop is equal, let's say I'm going to say 4, and then see what that prints out. I need another bracket here, parentheses here. So that would just say that I did not understand it, and I'm going to just take these values. Let's try this, and then yeah. So this is just basically saying that the start at 0, it found it this. So the next one is 0, 1, 2, 3. So if I say and go at start at 3, and then just stop of whatever number, it did not find that one. So maybe it is going to return, yeah, 3. 3 is 4. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one is this one. Yeah, fourth element is 15. So if I change that one to 20, and then I just go here, and now 5 is not gonna just give me that value. It's gonna say 6, because I'm looking for 5. This 5 is just the next occurrence, or is that 6th element. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the last one is 6. But if I just change this one to 20, I should get 4, and that's what I get 4. If I do a 15, I should get 15. I should get 3 maybe. Let's try that. 15. Yeah, 3. And so that's the index that at that second element that is happening. Let's do this other thing. Say t1.count. So t1.count, we just count how many occurrence of 5 is there. Since there's 2, I should return 2 here, and it does. Similarly, if I get for 15, I get, say, count for this. And this is not unique to just this. So if I say Wahid, I could just write that one, and then do a string comparison. Let's see, count of Wahid, then I should get 1. And it's there. And you can also say t1 dot underscore underscore contains underscore underscore. You can say, for example, if it contains 5, the element 5 is there, and then it says true. And if you just say contains Lutfi, which is false, it doesn't contain that one, then you could just see it's false. But if you change that one to contains to Wahid, then you could see that it is giving you that. So thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel, which is my web university free educational videos. You're welcome to like and subscribe, and then make some comments. Please watch the World Cup, and then have fun. Take care, and bye-bye.